You know, I see this country still refusing to admit why we're here. And the reality is we would rather burn it to the ground than be ruled by a black woman. There is a Harvard professor that says this eloquently. Listen to him and then let's talk.
We chose a felon who is more interested in loyalty, who's more interested in retribution, who's more interested in grift than in democracy. And we chose a felon because we didn't want to elect a black woman. So to read that, to actually explicate that, is to say we would rather destroy the republic than for that to have happened. And until we grapple with it, there's no amount of protesting I could do. There's no amount of resistance that could come into play to actually force 78 million people to grapple with what motivated them to put themselves in this position.
And I think you're getting at how we're going to have to go through the next 4 years, right? Because I haven't on this show covered the talk of a third term because I believe it's a shiny object. I believe the things driving Trump's approval rating down are the man-made destruction of the economy, abandoning due process. But you're right in that 78 million people voted for someone who wants to shred the Constitution. Why?
That's the key.
What's the answer?
There is a sense in which the underbelly of the country, what Melville was writing about, right? That there's this sense, this tragic dimension of the American project, where the extension of basic democratic principles, the idea that dignity and standing should be accorded to anyone, no matter their gender, no matter where they're from, no matter their color, that has been challenged because some people believe that by definition they ought to be superior to others, and that the country should be organized in such a way to ensure that fact. And we have been willing to do monstrous things in defense of it. Monstrous things. And people have been using it in some ways, Nicole, for their own self-interest. They might not be monsters in that sense, but they might be unabashedly greedy. They just want to make money with and exploit people's grievances and hatreds in the way. But we've been dealing with this from the very beginning.
77 million people voted for this morally bankrupt piece of shit. You went to the voting booth and said, yeah, he's a felon. Yeah, he's an adjudicated rapist. Yeah, he's most likely a pedophile. Yeah, he had dinner with Nick Fuentes, a known anti-Semitic white supremacist piece of shit. Yeah, he sat there for 3 hours where officers were beaten. 5 died. Yeah, he didn't rent to black people. He asked for the execution of 5 black men. Very fine people on both sides. But you know, I don't know. I don't like her laugh. I don't know, for Harris, this is really tough. She kind of slept her way to the top. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to, I don't know. I'm going to have to vote for the guy that cheated on his wives. Yeah, I'm just going to have to do it. And is a convicted felon and rapes women. This is really hard, but you know what? He's really funny. Yep, I'm going to have to vote for the white man. And that's just the reality of it. We can spin it however we want. It's the price of eggs. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. And I saw one of these left-leaning bros from Pod Save America that was talking to Simone Sanders on stage. And she goes, no, it's because she was a black woman. And him and his white stupidity, well, no, it was a Democrat plus 2 district, and it was 0.001%. It was no, it wasn't. It's bullshit. White people still don't want to deal with the problem. This is why we're here. When are we going to deal with it? It can't be the 92% or our black brothers and sisters. We're the problem, it's us. Whether you like it or not, this is the problem. How long are we going to put our heads in the sand and act like this isn't it? What do you see with ICE, right? I just want them here legally. That's bullshit. These people have been here for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. They're busting their ass. They work in the fields. They do concrete. They do construction. They do all the jobs that a lot of white people are too lazy to do. But at the same time, you're going to vote for this fat ass in the White House who's a rapist, who's a felon, tax fraud, insurrection. Watches 15-year-olds get dressed in a teenage girl pageant locker room. Adds $8 trillion to the debt. 3 failed marriages, 6 bankruptcies. I don't know. I'm going to have to vote for him because I'm for law and order. That's bullshit. He's the white man. And the reality is, this country would rather burn Rome to the ground and suffer under a white man than thrive under a black woman. And until we address that, then we're never going to be a great country. And the other thing that's really piss poor, our Democrats won't have this message because they're more worried about political atmosphere. Oh, I'm at a D+1. Oh, that's an R+1. I don't give a shit. I don't care. The Democrats suck. That's why I'm an independent now. They have no backbone. They refuse to address the actual problem. And we can choose to be rage baited with thumbnails. Is this the end? Did she say this? Arrow, 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 all this dumb shit. We can do that all we want. But I'm going to keep making these videos because this is why we're here. We want to watch Lahaina burn, but we don't want to find out what caused the fire, and we don't want to watch people rebuild. We want to watch the LA fire, but we don't care about the insurance claims. We need to get more focused on the solutions instead of rage baiting over the damn problems. We're here because of white supremacy. Hard stop. Have a good day.